Shalom. First and foremost, all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rachach that belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, elect. Shalom. Shalom is your brother Shaquat from the Las Vegas Church. Just want to bring out this info and bring out the custom that will fix this issue that among our people, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, that we have, okay, as part of the curses. All right. Matter of fact, before I even read this, well, I'll read it, then I'll hit a curse, and then I'll grab a few precepts. But I got other articles and even a video that goes with it. All right. It says, so Lord willing, this will be edifying. So it says, BDM 2, I guess, the second, something like that. It says, 59% of women with kids have kids with multiple partners. Okay. And through the ancient custom, we should understand that that's adultery, all right? Because not all these men are dead. You know, the first partners that these women have laid with and have children with, all right? And that's the custom. And if you don't know, I guess I'll grab it real quick just to edify. All right, so Deuteronomy 22:13, if a man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, okay, because if he take a wife and he consummates the marriage, you know, everything's good. But if he hate her, right, and it's just like, man, this ain't working out. I made a bad choice, right? And that's because that's usually the dynamic that happens why there's multiple partners, you know, multiple baby daddies, so to speak, amongst our people. It says, and give occasion of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman to marry and I came to her and found her not a maid. Okay. Then shall the father of the damsel, and a lot of times it was understood that if you, let me see what the word maid looks in the blue letter, because I want to explain this, but I want to see what it says. In the NLT, it says, and publicly accuse her of shameful conduct, saying, I married this woman and discovered she was not a virgin. Okay, let's see what the word breaks down to for maid. She was not a maid. Okay. Yeah. But so yeah. It says that's funny. Collectively virginity, by implication, a maid virginity, a token of it. Basically, she had sex before, and we go to the masculine plural, the same. Batula. Meaning to separate, virgin, maid, maiden. Okay. Anything else? Virgin, pure and unspotted, called as being separated and secluded from intercourse with men. Okay. So this is the word that you're looking for. Okay. Bathwala. All right. Bathwala, Bathwalim, Balyum. It's plural. Found her not a virgin. So that pretty much breaks it down. All right. It says, and give, I read that, 15, and, I could have read it in that. It said, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of her virginity unto the elders of the gate. And what's the tokens of virginity? Let me Google it for you, because it's basically a cloth that after they have sex for the first time and the man popped the cherry, I'm going to just say it this way, she wipes the cherry, after the act, wipes that, and then it stains the white cloth. That's the token of virginity that you give to the parents. It was like a receipt. All right, so let's see what Google says about the tokens of virginity.
The token mentioned is a piece of fabric with the blood from a woman's first time having intercourse on it. In the days when the events of the Bible happened, one of the laws God instructed Israel to follow was that sex between two that aren't married was to be punished by death.
Yeah, and it's going further into it, and it's going to go into that in Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. See, they have it here. Okay. But coming back to it here, and so that's the cloth, that's the token of virginity, right? That's what they is going to say. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, a virgin. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. But I got the receipts. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of the city shall take the man and chastise him. And they shall immerse him in an hundred shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, upon he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife, he may not put her away all his days. But if the thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, they shall bring out the damsel to the door of the father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with the stones that she die, because she have wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shall thou put away evil from among you. Okay, so this is a very serious thing. And see, this is why it's such a serious penalty, because this is not what you want. Okay, we want our people to be pure. And see, when you bring this spirit of confusion, because what a lot of women don't understand, and a lot of you young men don't understand either, is when you get into these statistics, okay, it goes to show you that, well, what the part you don't know is that when a man goes in unto a woman, that man's spirit is now on that woman. Okay? And only then will that spirit overtake the spirit of her father, of the man that raised her. Okay? That's why it's very serious that never crossed barriers. But I mean, our people have been all over the place and been downtrodden and beat down and SA and touched and so on and so forth, man. It's crazy how bad the conditions of our people are. We need to be rescued out of this. Okay? But when you get into this, it goes to start bringing it up. And this says, you're right. Let's integrate everything clearly in one comprehensive, easy to digest table. Here's the combined overview incorporating both the women versus the men with kids ages 15 through 49 and multiple partner fertility statistics. Okay. Women with kids, 59%. Men with kids, 46%. That overlap tells you a lot right there. Okay, mothers with multiple partners, 59% of black women have children with multiple partners. Hispanic, 35% of the mothers have multiple partners. Whites, 22%, and Asians is 10% or so. I guess that's what they're trying to say, but and then see, when you bring up a statistic like this, but what do you see? You've seen that fathers in a home, multiple partners. Why do you think I'm gonna look it up and bring it up for you. Pair bonding is AI overview. Okay. In the context of biology and relationships, pair bonding refers to the strong affinity and selective association that develops between two individuals, often leading to a long-term, socially monogamous relationship and shared parental care. Okay? So that the issue is the pair bonding thing is now broken. And a lot of women don't want to, they're mad at that first guy that they gave their virginity to. And that's the problem, that they gave it and they didn't have any guidance to help them choose. They went behind the daddy's backs if the daddies were around, or behind the mama's backs if the daddy wasn't around. You know, mama was trying to get her thing going. She might have had multiple partners. She probably told her, you need to sleep around till you figure, in so many words, not always directly, but you need to figure out, what kind of man you like and sample and go try it out, which is all bad information. And so multiple generations now have lived with that and have been just tainted, man. Okay, the Bible just said that you keep evil from Israel by stoning her, because you ain't supposed to be sharing the same flesh with the spirit, with multiple men's spirits. Now there are special cases where if the man die, then you can which I'll end up getting that. Then it makes sense, but there's a purpose even for that. Okay, but what do we see? We see sexual, what's the word I want to just willy nilly with it, for lack of a better term. Men and women just doing it just to be doing it, not for its purpose. Okay, simply for the pleasure of it, right? And then the scriptures tell you, I'm not going to grab it, but in Ecclesiastes, the 25th chapter, it says, marvel not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. And what do you desire her for? Her skill at being a wife and a mother and guiding the home. Okay? So on and so forth. Which are skills that them grandmothers told them daughters and granddaughters to do, to go ahead and shop around. But then they turn around and don't teach them wife and motherly skills. Got them being career women, going to college and not telling them how to keep the house clean, how to make a good meal every night, with a balanced meal every night. How to sew and make fresh bread and different skills that they knew. That didn't continue to get passed down. They got comfortable with going through the drive-through and then eventually shopping from the inner aisles of the grocery store, where all the processed food is at. You go to the grocery store, wait till around the first of the month, the first week of the month, go into the grocery store and just start, people watching what's in people's carts. And you're going to start to see a trend of what's in people's carts. The heathen women, you're going to start seeing that there's a lot more fresh foods in there. They may have certain other things as well, but you can't always tell. But when you're going to start seeing on our people, especially if you shop at Walmart, if you go inside Walmart and you look inside the carts of the Negro, Latino, Native American women, oh my goodness. Okay, this is something that has to be broken. This has to reset on this has to happen. People are so caught up in, I ain't got time to, I got to get this weave put in, this synthetic hair put in. I got to dye it, purple or lime green or some crazy color. And then I got to get the fake shit put in there. I don't have time to cook a home cooked meal that'll take an hour or two to feed my family with. Then I got a photo shoot to do on social media to get my money right. And then, man, it's crazy where the priorities of our people are. All right? And it goes further on. A pair bond is a strong and enduring bond between two individuals characterized by a preference for each other's company and a desire for proximity. All right? True love, really. That's broken the more you have multiple partners. Okay? After the first one, it's never going to be pure. And then on and on and on, you realize that it doesn't really, it just gets further and further from it. Now, this was the comments, and the brother had screenshot this, and I'm gonna use what it said, because when you read the interaction that is going back and forth, you see the arguments of women trying to stand up for women because they don't want to look back because they live the same or similar way. But the numbers don't lie. Okay? And the things that I named as far as rearing the house and being a good woman that men really look for in a wife for something long term, low or no body count, that's almost out nowadays. Okay, but a low body count, and then wife skills, rearing the home and providing and all types of other things, right? Giving the man peace and not all types of crazy, chaotic world arguing. You wonder why they argue? That's the other man's spirit fighting, because men are competitive that way. Now you go into the law of jealousy, or the is it the law of jealousy? It's in Numbers. Let me grab it real quick. Yeah, it is the 29. This is the law of jealousies, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband and is defiled. Okay, and if it puts a spirit on a man, and then a man can go check to see if his wife has really done something. Okay, and this was Numbers 5, verse 29 that I just read, right? And it's going to show you, when you read this chapter, which I'm not going to read it, but when you read this chapter, it shows you that there's a ritual that you would do, that you give the woman, and then her belly and her thighs would rot, with cellulite. Okay, and then she'd be undesirable, and then it would pretty much be a sign that she wasn't right. All right. But like I said, this is ancient customs. We're doing the best we can with the life we live. We've all made choices going into this situation that we live in now, but we should understand that we teach our sons and our daughters to be better than us. Okay, that we live better going forward. Okay, and then even furthermore, this will be all rectified in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, we'll be able to keep this perfectly. All right, now going back to that dialogue, it says, and True said, y'all black men don't realize this makes you look just as bad. LOL. This is an issue for both genders, for men and women. She's saying, right? I figure it's a she. That's the emoji looking thing. They said, how? Explain, the one that brought it up. And that, it's other stuff going up there that I don't have, but you can even follow this along and still get it and still understand. It says, I have to explain this to you, sir. Okay, I'm pretty sure 80 to 90% of those black women had children with the black man. He's at fault just like she is. It can never just be the accountability of just the woman taking blame for, because you didn't have or didn't use or didn't choose wisely. Because women, as this red pill whole situation will explain to you, women hold the key to sex in a relationship, and men hold the key to the actual relationship. So men are the ones that say, yeah, okay, I do want the relationship or not, if a woman wants it. But women are the one that hold the key to sex in a relationship. Okay, they control that. All right. So you tell me, and usually it's always something, that goes wrong, and she's upset and he can't take it, and she don't want to deal with it, and then they just go and do other things after they done created something. All right, it says he's at fault just like she is. I don't know why y'all assume your women aren't a reflection of you. And it is true, our women are a reflection of us, but not a reflection of who we are as much as the type of woman we are to our God, as a wife to our God. Okay, to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's the truth of the dynamic. Our women treat us like we treat the Most High. Okay? Why do your women have so many baby daddies? Not your responsibility, right? Well, if you keep choosing guys that you know ain't shit because you like how he was and you ain't made a good, and see, this goes all into the deeper issues that people want to have about the laws of the Bible, man, because there's certain understandings that come with it. When you marry a man, which I'm gonna get a scripture on it right now, but when you marry a man, you have to have made sense. Okay, I gotta understand why. I know his background, I know his family before sex. Okay, there's certain occasions where Mary and Joseph contrary to popular belief, yeah, Mary and Joseph had sex, but they were betrothed or engaged to be married. They just didn't wait to the ceremony to get the tokens of virginity. Okay, and that's just a light virgin birth breakdown, but so you can understand the context. Okay, they went outside, but they still were in order. They didn't go outside of the order of a lawful marriage. Okay, they just didn't wait for the ceremony. And he didn't want to put shame on her, so they didn't have it out wide. When you read it in Matthew, the first chapter. But anyway, a lot of times that's not what happens. Girls will run out and this, man, I didn't want to go this deep, but I must. And this is usually the case why people break up. And I've seen, I've lived a little while on this earth and seen a little bit happening in the earth. And one thing I have seen is a lot of times women will get beaten and mistreated and all these other things by her man, but not until he cheats on her with another woman is she ready to leave. Okay, and this is Sirach 26:6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. Okay, when a woman is jealous over another woman is when the issues really come. Jumping down, verse 10. Matter of fact, verse verse 7. Shit, I'll just keep reading. It says, and a scourge of the tongue was communicated with all. Women talk a lot of shit nowadays too, man. They don't know how to hold their tongue. They never were properly checked. Their mothers and grandmothers was wild with their tongues. This wasn't an ancient custom. Okay? Those things were checked with force. Now that was the ancient way, and something needs to happen now, because this is out of control nowadays. Women talk. That's why Jacob's trouble is going to be the greatest remedy to this issue, because you ain't got to put your hands on a woman during Jacob's trouble. You can just not save her, not protect her, and nature will take its course. Okay. And that's just righteous advice to deal with bad women. But we're gonna watch how these women get in order and start and start talking smooth to a man and comforting to a man and empowering a man with their speech and their actions, and it's gonna change. It's gonna have to, if they want to survive. A lot of them are meant to just catch judgment. Anyway, verse 7: an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her as though he held a scorpion. Right? An evil wife. It says, a drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. You can see it in her eyes that she's has whoredom all over her. Yep. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, difficultly, hardly. Keep her in the difficult way, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Okay, watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against this. Man, don't marvel about it, man. This is what they do. But you got to keep her on point, and that's why when you finally get her to the above puberty, and then she's mature enough mentally to deal with a man, to guide a house and be actually a wife to a man, and you've taught her all the skill that you can, and the wife has taught her all what she can, so on and so forth. That's when it's time to give her unto a man that she connects with, that they can build a pair bond, and that's strong for your family. That's what you want. Okay? It says, 12, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain. Okay? And drink of every water near her. What is it talking about? She'll sample as much as she possibly can. The statistics is proving it. Okay? So that's why you got to be on your job as a father to make sure that don't happen. By every hedge she will sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow. And that's, quivers and arrows is where it holds the arrow. The pouch that holds the arrow, that's a woman and a man. Okay? Having intercourse. All right? So you got to understand that that's part of the nature, and you have to be able, as a father, protect that and fight for that, to keep your daughter pure and the name of your household pure. Okay? And then when she's married, then you find a man for her, because that's how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to help your daughter find a man, because you have the experience and the wisdom to help choose. Because with this statistics, let me go to it. With these statistics, man, they struggling. Okay? The struggle is real. The top two is Jake's. Okay? That's ridiculous. And somebody said that in the chat. It was like, damn. It said, what's that? 90, 94? 94%? Come on, man. If you put them together, they added to both percent 35 and 59, but damn. Those are big numbers, man. One is 4 out of, 4 out of every 6. Is that right? Or 6 out of 10? 3 out of 5. 1 out of 3. Okay? The numbers are crazy. All right? Going back to the back and forth they had, it says they want to talk about responsibility, and he's flabbergasted, right? It says Chlorine King, or whatever, I guess that's what it's called, said they will forever ignore the fact that they lack the ability to pick wisely. And then the last person is scoffing about it because he just kind of left it open-ended. Whatever. You have to choose wisely, but the problem is not that you can choose wisely, because you wasn't given wisdom and understanding. That's why the system of the family in the village, in the tribe, were all set up for the well-being, not to try to pop the daughters in your tribe. And man, you didn't do that. That wasn't what was supposed to happen. You wanted her to be pure, so your son had a chance to get her. You want to make your son as valuable as possible, so he could have this valuable man's daughter. Okay, I read in Abraham. Okay, I'm going to get it with Abraham. This is Genesis 24, and I got other precepts. I don't want to make this too long, but I mean, it is what it is at this point. Okay, Genesis 24. Matter of fact, let me grab this in Sirach 7. It goes back to what I was saying, and this chapter is pretty good with it. I'll start up at 19, but 25 is the point, and 26, of course. It says, forgo not a wise and good woman, for her grace is above all gold. So you want to build that constantly. You want that constantly happening with our people. Okay? You want your wife you want to choose a good wife, and you want to have good children. You want your daughter to be good, and your sons to be good. The more you can keep that happening within our people, the better our people will continue to be. And that's why we'll be called that city of beauty and perfection. Okay, that's what's coming. Okay, when they scoffed, and I'm referring to, they scoffed at us, the heathen scoffed at us from the book of Lamentations. But anyway, it says, whereas thy servant worketh truly, and treat him not evil, nor the hireling that bestoweth himself wholly for thee. All right, let's get to the good parts. 23, has thou children, instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth. Whoop them and keep them in straightly, that they understand to walk the right way. The scripture saying Proverbs, I gotta remember where it's at. Let me grab it. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it or her. Okay, that's an important something to remember. You train your children a certain way, and in the fear of the Lord, and in respect and reverence, and in good conduct, and you don't have to worry about it. Then they begin to expound that upon other good. They're able to seek out and find other good quality people. All right. Back in Sirach 7 and 23 again, it says, "Hast thou children, instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth." That's how you train them up. "Hast thou daughters, have a care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them." Okay, you gotta be stern with daughters, man. You got to. Okay, because they'll run over you. All right, "Marry thy daughter, and so thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding." That's what you want to do. And so when I go back to Genesis, the 24th chapter, speaking of Abraham, he was getting older, and he was like, I gotta take care of this. I need a son for my I mean a son. I need a daughter for my son. I need to find my son a wife. I need to make sure this happens. Okay, so he was trying to make that happen, being one of the promised of Yahweh. It says, "Hast thou a wife after thy mind?" And that's partly what the pair bonding is about. When you have somebody after your mind, "Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman," an airhead. Don't just be choosing airheads, man. Okay? Understand the qualities that this woman possesses. Being lighthearted is one thing, but being an airhead where she just good for nothing, she can't cook, she can't clean, she can't think, she can't just bring you nothing but grief. Just always effing up, messing up, fumbling the bag and everything else. That's not what you want. Want to only shop and bring you grief. That's not what you're looking for, man. You got to choose wisely. And the choices now, because we're starting to see in the time that Isaiah 4, which I'm not going to grab it, but in the time of Isaiah, the 4th chapter, for you that know, you men and women that know that scripture, well, 7 women will take hold of one man. Okay, that time is coming around. As times get harder and harder, it's going to become more and more evident. Okay, that women need a hedge. They need a man. They need some covering. And men are going to want that, and they'll be like, "Ooh, I ain't been loved like all the ladies love me." And hey, that don't mean that that's the right thing for you. Okay, but as this happens, I mean, you go to the grocery store now, you can kind of see women. If you're in there by yourself as a man, women are kind of looking around, trying to check out what you up to and see who you are and what you got, and and they're already starting to check for you. Okay, this is the way this works now. Okay, and the closer and the harder Jacob's trouble begins to come, the more and more they're gonna be just bold enough to come up and speak to you, whether they got children or not. So this is how you have to choose and have those serious standards. All right? You can't be dealing with light women like that, not in these times. Get everybody pinched, right? So coming back to Genesis 24, it says that Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord Yahweh had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, "Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord Yahweh, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac." Okay? So that's what he wanted him to do. "I need you to go find my son a wife." So they had an arranged marriage. Now, I'm going to stop that there, and it goes further, which is a very good story. But it goes further, and he found, somebody of his own people that was like-minded people. Okay? And I'm going to just keep it like that. Now, watch this. Got to put this out there. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Copyright disclaimer. This is not for monetary value or gain, simply for educational purposes. Okay? What I'm going to play next. All right?
I'm 23.
What are you thinking? 4.
All right? So this is the daughter. She's 23. All right, and it says dad helps daughter pick a guy. Okay, now watch. Let's just watch how this plays out.
Are you going? Are you looking at the audience?
For you.
What?
That's my dad.
Wait, your dad's here? What the f? Dad, come on stage. Keep it going for dad one time. Come here, dad. All right, team huddle, bro. Team huddle. We don't got much time, but we gotta help your daughter make the right decision. This is what it's all about, man. Family meetings, choosing the right.
And he's exactly completely right about what he's saying. This choosing the right man, because you're connecting families now. It's almost a business deal, and you don't want to make bad business deals. Okay, so you're really connecting families, and you're now expanding. Think about it, you choose the right family, and I don't mean it, strictly for business, but business should be part of it. You don't want to just choose a F up family, but you want a family that when your children get together, okay, or you and your wife get together, that they can now build each other up. They can, I got a job for you over here. You can go get on over there. Now we doing good. I got this over here for you. Now we doing good. I got to hook up over here. And then you begin to lift the families up higher, man. Okay? And this is supposed to be happening throughout all Israel. Okay? All of our families are supposed to be like that. And it's not supposed to be lowly families. My sister said some cold shit years ago to her homegirl. The homegirl was Judah. And she was like, hey, I thought every family was like ours, but the way you talk to your mama, like she ain't shit. And she said, my mama ain't shit. And I'm not going to get into the details in the business, take too long, but her mama wasn't shit. Long story short, okay? But then she wasn't shit, and then her son wasn't shit. And so it just continued to compound. You don't connect to a family like that, okay? So this is important how this is supposed to go.
And tell us your two.
Robbie and Brian. Yeah,
Brian and Robbie. Those are your two favorite. And what about you, Dad? The teacher? No, I can see why the dad likes this homie, right? And I can also see why Nicole likes this homie. What you like about this homie right here?
This is the thing. I'll let her choose. She's good on it. Whatever she chooses, I'm good. The only thing.
He trained her up in the way that she should go, where he trusts her to pick. The two picks that she narrowed it down to, he's probably all right with it. Now, he would prefer a certain one, and he made that known, but he going to let her choose. He ain't going to choose for her, because that's the other part of it. Okay? If when the time comes around where I have to arrange or whatever for my daughter, I'm going to make sure that that she likes the choices that I'm helping her choose with. Okay? It's not just going to be like, hey, you be with him. She has to like, there has to be some connection. It has to be there. All right? It has to be a connection there in the first place, or it ain't going to work. All right? And that's just wisdom. That's just common sense even. Right?
I ask is respect.
You heard that? The only thing he wants is respect. That's it. Give it going for Papa real quick, man. Wow. Thank you. Much love, baby. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, have a seat, because I don't want this to get uncomfortable for Nicole. Which guy, based off all these, this process, which guy are you feeling the most?
Brian.
Oh! Congratulations, big dog. Robbie. Much love, baby. Do you guys want to see your best song?
All right, that's good enough. Okay? So she chose the one her father chose, because she knows at the end of the day, the quality and traits that'll probably make the relationship last longer, the father saw it and tried to make that wise decision for his daughter. Now, he don't know the guy, but there is a process where you hang out with the family. They kind of, she cooks cooks a meal for the dad and serves drinks and does wifely things around, and they get a little hangout time and get to check each other out, talk a little bit, nothing sneaky, and they go run off and do some hanky-panky, and make out. No, but they, they kind of be around each other. No, we ain't connected. I don't know. I ain't feeling it. Okay, but you get a good sense of what's going on if they're connecting or not. Okay, and that's why when you read further, let me go back to Genesis. Now, you come back to Genesis 24, and Abraham said, "Go find my family, and my relatives, and then choose somebody from out of them." And so he was like, ah. So they prayed, and the situation came to pass. Whoever would give me something to drink and feed the camels willingly will be the one. Pray to the Most High to let that happen. And Rebecca was the one that fell upon. Now, here's the thing. I'm looking for the part where it says it. But when they saw each other, they both was checking each other out. Speaking of Isaac and Rebecca, I think it's toward the end of the chapter. Yeah, when he's breaking it down in the house of what happened. Yeah, we'll call Rebecca and see what she thinks. Yeah, she wants to go immediately. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's see. Where we at? By the way, okay, 62. Yep, it says, and I'm reading this in the NLT. Meanwhile, Isaac, whose home was in Negev, had returned from Beer Laharoy or something like that. One evening, he was walking and meditating in the fields. He looked up and saw the camels coming. When Rebekah looked up and saw Isaac, she quickly dismounted from her camel. Who, quote, who is the man walking through the fields to meet us? She asked the servant. And he replied, it is my master. So Rebekah covered her face with her veil. Okay. Then the servant told Isaac everything he had done. So they had already seen and checked each other out. Okay. And those are the things that kind of happen. And when you go over to where Jacob and Rachel met, it was a similar thing. They was already feeling each other. He was all over Rachel. Okay, and then that goes into another dynamic as well. But so you're not just going to be like, okay, it's for you and you just do it, But it was meant for Leah to also be with be with Jacob, which I'm not getting into that. But you see how when you connect these situations, you start to see that the choices are better when they come from better stock. Okay, you choose better, you make better choices. You don't be so quick to be impulsive. Okay? Because that's what usually happens. These young teenage girls put themselves in situations that they can't get themselves out of, and now they're with older boys or wild boys that want to, get it in, and now they're, and so on and so forth. Or they've been touched, and now that impulse is there. All types of things, man. Okay? It's just a bad situation for our people. But we have to get to a point to where even as fathers, we're gonna be doing this. This is gonna be coming around. Because some of us that have young children or teenage children, that time's coming around. Okay? And it may be that you connect with a brother's family or fellow believer's family, and you make the connections. Okay? That's how Isaiah 4:1 is going to come about. That's going to be happening as well. You're not just going to want to just any old random somebody. You're going to want somebody that's you're going to hoping to choose somebody that's going to be of the elect. All right? Lord willing, we are as well, right? That's kind of what this is supposed to be about. All right? So as I was saying back here at Sirach 7, marry thy daughter. How? By helping her choose her husband. And thou hast performed a weighty matter. Marry thy son the same way, and give her not over to a light woman. And say, give not thyself. But this is what you're looking to do. You want to choose wisely. Okay. Now, when we go to another arranged marriage situation, and these are called arranged marriages, the situation, even though because you got an idea of who you want your family to connect with, You want to be able to do that because there are political powers that go with that, but more so, it's a connection of the families. You see this happening in business all the time. I know people that married into a different race of people, so they can, because of the business that family had amongst the race of, will be better in business. Okay, I want good relations with this country, or with this, so I'm gonna marry and get in, and they're in that type of business that I'm into, so we're gonna connect that way, and it won't be as organic as you think it would be. Okay, but it could be. All right, people do that. You get into the history, and you see how the Greeks would do that. They send their daughter down, they spy them out, and take them out. Anyway, this is Genesis 38. It says, and Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Okay, so he went out and chose a wife for his eldest son, his firstborn son, Okay, and this is when you begin to the woman can have multiple partners. This kind of illustrates the multiple partner situation. Okay, it says, and Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. So he's dead. And Judah said to Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother, and create a child for your brother to live on. Okay? And with his wife, right? He's dead. Help him out. Give him some children. Give her some children to live on. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his, because it's not going to be your son. You're trying to get a child for the mother, for your sister-in-law. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground. He pulled out, lest that he should give seed to his brother. He didn't fulfill what he was supposed to do. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord Yahweh, wherefore he slew him also. Okay? You can't just hit it like that. That ain't what I set this up for. I told you to go raise up seed. Okay, that was what it was supposed to be for. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown, the youngest, right? For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brother did. And Tamar went and dwelt in his father's house, in her father's house. And that's enough to understand. So she went back, so she wouldn't be sleeping around. She went back to the house, to where she had to be patient. Okay? And it goes on, and the story gets more elaborate and things happen, but it just kind of shows you that was a protected thing. You didn't just be out there sleeping around. Now, I would even want to venture and say a lot of women, I come across some women in my time, and I didn't understand the Bible when I first was meeting women and out there like that. So a lot of women, they was, some of them were, for right now, and some of them was really thinking for long term. Okay, and a lot of them, in the moment, it feels like they want something long term. But for a number of reasons, a plethora of reasons, things happen, man. Okay, the curses, which I was going to show you. Deuteronomy 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Okay, that's a curse. Okay, when you go up to the 15th verse, it explains that this is a curse. 15, Deuteronomy 28:15. It shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, Yahweh, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes which he command thee this day, then all these curses will come upon thee and overtake thee. So when you get down to 30, it's a curse that is overcoming and overtaking us. Thou shalt betroth a wife, be engaged to a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Okay? It's going to suck, man. Okay? It sucks. But this is the case. This is what we're in now. We've gotten to the point where we make music about it, and we got, you know, I don't even get into the name of some of these songs, or y'all know these songs that these new female rappers and rappers be talking about, crazy shit. Okay, and they've been talking about adultery in our music for decades, man, for decades. Scores of years. Okay. So when I came across this video, I was like, oh man, I gotta do something on this, and then that came up around the same time. Like, yeah, man, I gotta do this because it shows you that this is how you choose. Now we don't know the outcome, and who cares? I'm not gonna read the comments and find out, oh, they got married last week. Maybe not. Who cares? Jake is still under the curses. But the point of all of this is just simply, okay, we got to be able to make wise decisions. We got to understand what wisdom really looks like, and we need help. And the places we've been getting help ain't been right. I got a scripture. Okay. Isaiah 3:12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Okay, even if you go into 1 Esdras, the 4th chapter, it talks about women making men go off. Okay, men going out in danger for the love of a woman. Okay, so on and so forth. Err, sin, and have died. And we know sin leads to death. All kinds of situations you make mistakes trying to get to the love of a woman. Okay, and it's only gonna man. So we gotta do better, man. And so it starts with us that are in the know. We understand what this Bible is. We take these situations in the Bible. We see the wisdom in it. We see the folly in some of the other stories and the things that didn't work out. And we try to apply it to our lives and do the very best we can. Because we're gonna have to be able to judge these situations in the very near future. Okay? We might be in the midst of Jacob's trouble. We may be around a certain group of people, and people need you to judge a situation. What should we do? Who should I marry? What should I, so on and so forth. Who's the better fit? You never know. Okay? And they may take the advice that you give them. And all you got to go off of, which is more than most, is what you learned in the scriptures. Well, this happened and that happened. What about if she's into this? Well, he's into that, and so's he. And those two things work out. Hey, let's do this. And they take that and they run with it with their lives. Okay? And then when you go into back into that Genesis the 24th chapter, you notice even the servant was praying that he made the right choice. That the Heavenly Father help him make the right choice. And if at worst, that's what you want to be able to do. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. I'll give all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Bashim, Yahshua, Bashim, Hakudash. Until the next one, Shalom.